That girl legit said I do by texting him on the altar. My gosh, that's some next level stuff there. That is some next level glued to your phone social media type of mentality there. I thought for the longest time that she was going to have some sort of disability and maybe she only felt comfortable with texting. Maybe she was mute. I don't know. I figured there was going to be some answer to it, but that's by God, that's new age social media stuff right there. That is like kid born after 2010 stuck to the phone type of stuff right there. This girl legit texted him, I do. But it worked for his story. I think it was really sweet to kind of get that sense there. But yeah, the moment that she's preggers, suddenly the phone drops and I'm like, where has this girl been this whole time? I think this girl's been so like jacked into the system that she just couldn't let go. And I think that's probably kind of an overall message that this writer has been doing, how social media sort of influences people. It's not just sort of just the surface level that social media gives people their power, you know, boosts people up, but it's also an aspect of how people rely on it too much and sort of they gain something from it. They get that dopamine or whatever from the system, which is what powers them. I think there's probably a meta level kind of conversation to be had here. But yeah, overall, this episode, extremely depressing. Ghostblade story is extremely depressing. I do have to apologize once again that yes, I misread who this stalker guy was. It's legit her dad. Wasn't some sort of guy that was in love with her or something like that. But his story is super depressing, and it sucks because I think that this is going to be the only episode we get. It does feel like over the last few arcs, it feels like they're getting less and less amount of episodes per character, and that really sucks because I really want more for Ghostblade. I want a happy ending for this dude because I think he's joining with Lou in order to possibly get close to Nono. And maybe hopefully there'll be a conversation that'll be had between the two of them during that time, at least write something down for her. But I want some sort of closure, but I don't think I'm going to get it because every arc, they're shortening it. We had like Nice was like 4 episodes, then it went to 3 episodes, then it went to 3 episodes, then it went to 2 episodes, 2 episodes. Now 1 episode? Is that what we're doing now? That sucks. That sucks because I think they could do so much more with his character. But what we did get was a really great setup for his character. This dude is both warped, but also at the same time, yes, kind of ruined by his own family. Not seemingly like they did it on purpose, but his family kind of ruined him. And then we have once again, similar to, you know, Standing Man and a lot of these other characters where they're ultimately cursed by what they have been given. With him being cursed to not be able to talk, the silent butcher. Yes, technically early on it was a blessing, but ultimately became a curse for him as he wanted to sort of join his wife in now speaking up. There's sort of like an element of the two of them being very similar. That's why they fell in love. They're very similar in the idea they both don't want to socialize out loud, and that's where he found comfort. But at some point, she wanted to change, and he couldn't. And I think that there was a moment there where she's saying, leave the public so you could actually change, but he wouldn't do it. She gave him the out, the way to get away from the curse, but he chose not to choose it. He chose to go with the route of staying with what he enjoys. And that really sucks. It really sucks. But yeah, let's get in the episode proper, opening up with, yes, sort of getting the backstory of Ghostblade and his family. It seems like a lot of his struggles throughout his life is that he was so disturbed by how noisy his family was. He was growing up in a very loud family. They were all butchers. They were really loud. They didn't deserve their pride. He didn't like how loud they were. And at some point, yes, this FOMO program comes out. Everybody's watching him as he's doing his butchering work, and him sort of opposed to his family because they're so loud, he was very quiet about it and very precise with it. He had his own way of killing things. He wasn't all about being boisterous and loud and everything. And with the FOMO social media, eventually people started posting that he's a silent butcher, he never speaks or whatever, and that did gain him his power. He says my cuts were a lot more precise, but I also noticed that I stopped talking as much. I wasn't able to talk as much. And again, that was through that fact that everybody was praising him, the silent butcher, the silent guy, the silent one. And thus, again, that curse hits. Just like all the other ones, the perfectionist aspect, the not being able to sit down, always having to stand, all those things. This is his curse. He cannot talk, which for now, at this point in his life, seems like a good thing. He's fine with that. That's cool. I don't care about talking. It's fine. I don't like noisy places. And again, now that MG shows up and they want to recruit him, become an assassin, works for me. Get away from this noisy life. I can't stand it. I want to be in quietness. I want to be able to just cut things. That's all I want to do. And it was something that he actually enjoyed. Xing was his 175th target. This dude's legit killed. I mean, if you split them all up, I mean, he could probably have killed a group at some point. This is a person every 4 days he's killing. That's a lot of people. He has killed a lot of people, and that's only 2 years. Cut forward to like later on, I'm curious how many people he's actually killed at this point. But it doesn't seem like he has any sort of regret. And I think that sort of comes from what his perspective was with killing animals. Back here, I was a butcher. It was all about silence and precision. I would sue them to get them to quiet. I didn't really care about the pain they had. Here, he's saying specifically, I never looked into my targets. I never looked to see if they were possibly innocent. I just killed. I knew that if they were a target, they probably did something wrong. Either they betrayed somebody, they lied, they did something bad, they stole, greed, something like that. There's got to be a reason why they have to die. And so he just goes there without a question, kills them. Hope this person doesn't curse me like the pigs will curse me, because I'm not the person that wants them dead. Which is, yes, technically from an assassin standpoint of view, probably logical in the sense that if I don't kill you, somebody else is going to kill you. They're going to pay somebody to kill you. But very warped mindset here and very cold. And the idea that, yes, once he finally kills his target, it's like that silence. Always like that silence. Chasing them down, they're loud, they're noisy, they're playing for their life. But the moment they die, I have that brief moment of silence. Again, super warped. And seeing sort of those scenes, while I didn't like a lot of that effect that they were doing in the episode, it does really do well in sort of kind of showing how jarring everything is. When he's in that house and everybody's just laughing and make a bunch of noise, it's showing almost like this blur effect, kind of show how everything around him is not something he wants to look at. It's just very jarring to him. The only part that I didn't like that effect being used was the whole flashback of how he met his wife, his soon-to-be wife. We don't have to use it in this scene too. Please stop using the whole blur effect. It's annoying. But yes, that's when we cut forward to see how he met his wife, who looked like Rin Tasaka at first. She looked like Rin Tasaka at first. But yes, we get the meeting with Zhang Lan, and that is essentially her being a hostage, some random dude. Again, very interesting what he kind of falls in love with. The moment he's seen her, bam, it clicked for him. Somebody so calm that he was afraid that the neon lights going across her face might possibly break her stillness. That's how still she was. It's completely calm. And I'm looking at her like, dude, no, she's like stuck on her damn phone. Like, she's looking at social media. She's like, oh my gosh, what's the next video on TikTok? My gosh, my next TikTok video. Like, no, this is like, that girl right there is probably like 50% of the population staring at their phones. Let's be honest. But yeah, this dude's got her hostage and she's just looking at the phone like, man, I wonder if Susie's gonna reply to my text or not. Kills the guy. And she just like strolls right past him. Like, whatever. Girl's glued to that phone. It was kind of weird. But again, it makes sense why he fell in love with her and why they worked so well together. He's like, it was silent mutual understanding. The two of them just sitting there, her texting and him just cutting up a burger in half, them passing fries across the table. So romantic. But yes, something changed. They went to the hospital. She's a little anemic. And yes, congratulations, you're pregnant. And he said that's the first time she put down that phone. It was like a technical difficulties at the theater. Like the lights just turn on. Now she's talking. Oh no, now I can't get her to shut up. It's so weird. That's not what it was. I'm just joking. What it seems to imply here is the moment that she became pregnant, the moment that she had the child, her focus kind of changed. She had this change of heart. She now wants to kind of focus on family. It wasn't like that before. It was like she wanted this whole thing here with social media and hanging out with him. Now suddenly she wants responsibility. She wants to take care of the daughter. She wants to take care of the parents. She wants to change. She's made that choice. But she's afraid that he's not going to follow her. And this is the sad reality. Again, this is what he wanted. And he's not ready to shift in that way. And even gets the idea that even with the kid, it's like something that's loud, something that's jarring to him. Once again, it's like his family again. I can't stand all that noise. The family is too much noise. So her bringing up the idea of moving with the family, it's like, no, I don't want to hear that crap again. That's too loud. It sucks how she's sort of giving him the out, and the idea that the way for him to be able to really truly connect with, especially his daughter at this point, is he's going to have to leave the public eye. He's going to have to give up that persona, because what is that persona causing him? The curse. He's never going to be able to really communicate and change like she's wanting to change, because that's just something that he cannot do. He's too comfortable in his persona. His persona is what gave him silence. It gave him this way out from his life. So again, it sucks because I think later on, she's like, okay, I respect your choice. We're going to respect each other's choice. Goodbye. I'll take care of the daughter. Goodbye. And cut forward when he gets to that point where suddenly he's trying to make that connection and he's wanting to give a gift. She's like, dude, she's 18 now. That's a child's toy. You have no clue about her at all. He's always been observing and never communicating to her. He did not give it that persona. Thus, he can't communicate. And so when it finally comes to that point where suddenly he's like, she's right. I can't communicate to her. I don't understand her. All I've been doing is observing her. I've never been able to communicate to her. My family was right. I've never been able to express emotions. I don't even know what emotions are. And I can't even talk. I can't communicate to find out what she's about because he never left the curse behind. He never left his persona behind and walked away from that curse. That's the sucky part. He had that opportunity back there, but he wouldn't choose it. So it's kind of this whole thing where it sucks because it all is predicated upon the fact that his family's environment didn't jive with him and he wasn't comfortable there and it was kind of suffering for him. He found an outlet. He was given power so he can walk away from that family, but it gave him a curse of silence. And now upon having family and wanting to know that family more, he can't communicate because that's silence. It's the monkey's paw. It literally feels like Ghostblade is the monkey's paw. You wanted silence all this time, and now you don't want the silence? But yeah, because he can't communicate. That whole scene of him trying to talk was like so painful. He's just like trying to get something out. It's all like this tidal wave in his throat, and he just cannot release it. So he decides another route, stalking her. He goes full on stalker mode and starts tracking down everything she's doing. And there's this lolly girl that shows up and she's changing how she is. Parents can try to lay out what they want their children for so long, but the moment they find friends, those are the ones that always mess with them and really mold them. And it's this lolly girl. Lolly is messing with my daughter. She's bad influence. These pink hair and all this stuff, getting her into bad stuff. It was darky. It was darky. I almost thought at some point it was going to build up to some like after story of Loli that he goes and actually attacks her and takes her down because she's been bad influence on Nono. But yeah, that last scene with Rock talking to Lou, you got your approval. Yep, gonna go to the spaceship right away. We're gonna go check it out. He said specifically, I'm only gonna bring people that were involved with the original attack, who witnessed the attack. I don't know if he's talking about the attack on the lab or if he's talking about the attack on the spaceship. Why would he care to bring people that witnessed the attack on the lab? It seems like both the subtitling and the English dub are both implying the same thing. It's the people that experienced the attack the previous night. His core staff. The ones that would keep their mouth shut, basically. And weird. So I guess it's nothing to do with the spaceship itself, but it seems like those people are the ones that he wants to take to this wreckage and to check it out. And then, yeah, at that point, we'll probably see, hopefully again, Ghostblade get to talk to Nono a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions as always. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content, you want to support the channel more, become a member of the channel. But until next time, y'all take care.